Hi, I'm Rob, and in this Gems of War video, I'm going to take a look in the Soulforge and tell you what is good and bad in there. Also going to take a look at this weekly event troop, Mythics. I can show you my world event team and Underspire team. But first up, let's take a look at this new glory troop here, Mythics. Deals magic-based scatter damage boosted by allied and enemy daemon and nagas. So basic scatter damage with a boost. Does reduce damage from skulls by 30%, that is reasonable, and poison enemies when doing skull damage means it kind of needs to be up top to do that in general, unless you lose troops first. Then gain 1 magic when an ally casts a spell. So yeah, the first and third traits are not too bad, the spell's nothing special. Was thinking 4 out of 10, but I'll give it the benefit of the doubt and say it's not too shabby with those 2 traits and say a 5 out of 10. Anyway, the king. How many volunteers do we have for my evil army? Squire, 384 mileage. King, okay, round them up. Squire, 400 mileage. Oh dear. Anyway, as ever, take this all the way up to Mythic if you can spare the glory. And we'll upgrade that later. Right, into the Soulforge. Let's take a look at the weapons first. I'm not going to go over all the ones that are here all the time. They're in my Soulforge extra video, and I'll put a link to that in the description below. First up though, we have Cobra's Curse. Deal magic-based damage to an enemy boosted by Naga allies. Then create a mix of 6 red and green gems for each Naga ally. The interesting thing about this weapon is it's one of the few ones of this type which actually uses the same colour as what it generates. They're normally different colours, so you normally have to have some of those troops. You have to have Naga allies in your team that use red or green to make the most of that, because normally the colours of this weapon are actually different from the ones it generates, but not so with this one. It actually uses green, so it can self-charge and do it again, and it's kind of really cool like that. So this is one of the better ones of this type to get if you like to get a recharge and do it again. Very, very handy indeed. Reduce a tome, deal magic-based damage to an enemy boosted by Mist of Scales allies, then create a mix of 6 blue and red gems for each Mist of Scales ally. See, this is how it usually goes. This generates blue and red, but uses green and yellow, so you have to make sure you've got a couple of Mist of Scales troops in your team that use blue or red, or both, to make the most of all that mana. So yeah, you'd have to do that with that, but not so with this one, because it can self-charge and do it again. Very, very handy indeed. Dagger of Scales, kind of the anti-Mist of Scales weapon in a way. Remove all green gems. Deal magic-based damage to an enemy boosted by gems removed. If the battle is from Mist of Scales, if the battle is in Mist of Scales, deal double damage. So it's a very low-cost weapon to get. Only 75 diamonds, so worth picking up for that. Because that can be useful as well in progressing your kingdoms. You get to a point in a game where basically you need a certain amount of weapons from a certain amount of kingdoms, fully powered up or upgraded to continue, and that's where them sort of things can come in handy, even if you don't think you're going to use them. Next we have Scale Guard Protector. Explode magic +1 red gems. Grant a random status effect to all Naga allies, then summon a Naga troop. So a nice explodey summony weapon there. Uses blue and purple, explodes red, status effects, and a summon. Very handy indeed. Wand of Stars isn't in my Soulforge extra video because that video was made before Wand of Stars existed, but basically if you've got the resources, just craft Wand of Stars. It's the best weapon in the game, absolutely fantastic, epic mana generator. Create 6 elemental stars and bless all allies, or create 7 umbral stars and curse all enemies. So that mana gen with the option of that cleanse or bless, or the bless rather and curse, is really, really good. Absolutely awesome weapon. Will backfire now and again, but will help you out far more times than it actually puts you in a spot of bother, so it's certainly worth getting. Medusa's Ring. Deal a magic-based true damage to an enemy boosted by stone blocks, then create 4 stone blocks. Don't really like this weapon much. Probably works well with Medusa, but Medusa's not a great troop either, but there's probably a way to use those stone blocks properly. It just seems to be better options in the game for the kind of thing this sort of weapon does, so not a huge fan of it. More collectible than anything for me, that one. Mirror Shield. Gain magic +1 armor and reflect. If I already have reflect, give reflect to all other allies. So a very defensive weapon, that one. Can be good in certain teams though. It's just, I like weapons that either do damage or get a load of mana there's other troops that are sort of better at this sort of thing in general. Next up we have Doom's Loop. Give 2 magic to all allies with a +1 per tempering level boost, and give magic +2 armor to green allies. If the enemy has a Doom, gain 10 attack. See, it sounds good, that magic boost, but it's not the best thing for me. I like the damaging doomed weapons myself, so again, other troops, other weapons overall do a better job unless you're kind of forced in some way to pick something like that. And next we have Serpent's Tooth. Deal magic based damage to an enemy boosted by brown allies and Naga allies. So damage with a boost is okay, but again, nothing too special about that one. So yeah, nothing too fantastic there, but I would say that I do like the explodey summony weapons like this, and I certainly think this is very worth picking up because of that uniqueness thing about it, where it actually generates the colour it uses so it can repeat cast and do it again. Right, onto the troops. As ever, go through these summoning stone troops, see if there's anybody in there that takes your fancy, anybody that you're missing. You can roll the dice, see if you pick some of them up. Particularly looking for goblins, anybody that starts in powered, which is with full mana, anybody that's particularly useful like skeleton is a really good troop. Creates 7 skulls, gains magic +2 armor, and gains an extra turn. Really good in a skull based team because you can cast that spell, get those skulls, and if you don't get any alignments or a 4-match, you gain an extra turn and can make it happen that way most likely. So very, very good indeed. Right, let's see who is the dragon on rotation this week. It is Lunarelion. So if you're only missing Lunarelion on your way to trying to craft Stellaryx, then it could be worth the extra Dragonite to guarantee it, but it is each to their own on this one. It is a lot of extra Dragonite, but at least you guarantee it. If you don't do that, you could get frustrated getting loads of duplicates still. So each to their own on that one, but Lunarelion is there this week. Dragonlord Luther is still here, so that is cool. Does damage to all enemies, boosted by blue dragon gems and barrier itself. So if you've done all those tasks for that 4 weeks, you can craft Dragonlord Luther. Let's see who the first mythic is. The first one is the Archdeva. Choose an ally, give them a huge amount. It's basically like triple magic and a bit, or a little bit less, but roughly triple magic. Attack, life and armor, and fill their mana. Can only be cast once because it's extremely powerful, and has Sanctuary as well, which is really cool. Barrier and bless a random ally when matching 4 or more gems, so really good. That one for buffering up one of your team mates in a huge kind of way, unlike Will of Nysha, who's a little bit rubbish. Steals 3 magic from all enemies and deals magic +1 damage to them. Yes, that is it for a mythic. Wow. But her traits are okay though. All purple allies gain 1 to all stats at the start of each turn is good. Reduce damage from spells by 50% is very good. And gain 1 life for each purple ally is naff. So yeah, Will of Nysha. Will of! Wish she was half decent, more like. And we have Guard's Avatar. Still a really cool troop. Deal magic +2 damage to all enemies, boosted by my armor. Burn undead and silence daemon enemies. Divine Right, gain 8 armor when an ally casts a spell as a right, as is recover 1 armor at the start of each turn, but it's just very slow, that second one, so yeah, it's actually not that good at all. I'll take that back, it's a bit rubbish. The next one is Death. Death mark all enemies. Deal magic based scatter damage boosted by my life. Can be really good, and if you get lucky with those death marks, then obviously people can die really quickly. Nothing too fantastic about the traits. Still 2 life from the first enemy at the start of each turn is sort of alright. Undying's okay. Necromancy good if you're chasing souls, but yeah, death is death. Let's take a look at the legendaries quick. Kerberos, damage to an enemy, 40% chance to devour them. Really cool that devour chance comes in, and also has a 50% chance to summon a warg when an enemy dies. Imp of Love does scatter damage and charm a random enemy. A charm deals that damage to adjacent enemies. And if I am wounded, either bless all allies or give 3 magic to all allies. And also has that awesome compassion, gain 8 magic on red gem matches, which really pushes up that scatter damage, so very handy indeed. Borealis freezes all enemies, deals magic based damage to the weakest enemies, and does triple skull damage to frozen enemies. It reduces damage from skulls by 65% and is immune to frozen itself, so quite specialist in its own little way there. And we have Kruag the Dread. dealing magic-based damage to the last 2 enemies, and if there are 13 or more red gems, summon a random daemon. And a 4% chance to devour on skull damage. Can be a rather nasty surprise when that suddenly comes in out of the blue. Alright, so who gets my Mythic of the Week? Well, it's not going to be Death, not good enough. Card's Avatar, still very, very good indeed. Will of Nisha, totally rubbish. And the Arc Deva, still really, really good. Right, so it's definitely between the Arc Deva for me and Guard's Avatar. Because this is just so powerful, and it gets more powerful as you get more powerful, as do a lot of troops. But Guard's Avatar is really good as well. But it does lose its power kind of thing as if it gets damaged. Still really, really good though, but I'm just going to give it to the Arc Deva because it is such a powerful spell. When cast on the right troop, it is a little bit ludicrous. You can only cast it once, but that is because it is so powerful, and that Sanctuary is really good as well. So Arc Deva, my Mythic of the Week. Right, now onto the World Event team. This is the Wellspring of Evil. So first things first, we're going to pop to the shop and grab ourselves some tiers. And the reason we do this is because in this battle we get the Medal of... what's it called? Medal of Darkness. 160% spell damage for all troops in this event. So we want to make sure we get that. So grab your rewards first of all from the rewards section. And the reason is, it's a guild-based event, and your guild may have obtained some of these already. There we go, some tokens of darkness already. So we're going to pick some up before we've even started. So we'll do that, and we'll evolve that immediately. We've already got into a badge of darkness. When we buy our tiers from the shop, we'll be able to evolve it even further. So I'm going to buy 3 tiers at first, I think. There's the first one. Come on. Oh, it's waiting to evolve, that's why. Into a badge, tier 2, we get 2 more tokens of darkness. In that first tier as well, we get the Potion of Enchantment, really, really useful. Enchant all allies for this battle only at the start of battle. This one's really cool as well, because we get the Potion of Explosion. We explode 4 gems at the start of battle, and we pick up more tokens of darkness. And we'll soon be able to evolve that into that medal and get a whopping great 160% spell damage, which is going to be super handy for this. Right, so let's get that evolved into a Medal of Darkness. There we go. Now we get 160% spell damage. So make sure we pop that into the team, into the medal set, and we'll put it into the medal so it looks tidy. And there's our medal. Oop, no, first the wrong one. There it is. So these do stack, by the way. So if you pick up another one later on, or even get a badge, is totally worth swapping out a Medal of Nisha for even a badge of darkness, because you're going to get another 40% damage from that. So if you get another badge later on before it evolves into another Medal of Darkness, stick that into your medal set too for an even bigger boost up in damage. Right, now onto the scoring system. There are 6 battles you can encounter during this event, which are Hellspawn, Marilith, Viper, Moloch, Mambasira, and Melik Tors. The battles are randomly chosen, but they all have an equal chance of appearing on the map. Now, you earn totems when you do this, and each totem is worth 4 points. So I'll put the scoring on the board there on who's the most valuable. So you always fight Melik Tors when you see that there, but other than that, it's Mambasira, then Moloch, then Viper, and so on. Now, as I said, each totem is worth 4 points, and as the battles get harder, they will increase the amount of totems they give by 25%. Battles against Melik Tors will drop a variable number of totems, on average about 1.18 times the base amount. And we'll use a team like this. Really good. Tooth of the Wild, Queen Beatrix ×2, and Horned Hag, and I'll explain why in a minute. And there are options if you have different troops do Horned Hag, but Tooth of the Wild, really good weapon for this. Exploding magic +1 green gems, give a random status effect to all the wild folk allies, then summon a wild folk troop. And it also has Leaf as one of its upgrades, which is Leaf Storm, which is green. Really, really cool for this team. So exploding lots of green gems with a Leaf Storm and status effects and a summon, and uses yellow. And brown, Queen Beatrix creates 9 green and brown gems. So all the green feeds back into herself, all the brown feeds back into the weapon. And then deals magic based true scatter damage with a independent 40% chance to gain an extra turn and half her mana back, which is really cool. And she also has that Royal Honey Cleanse, which is fantastic. Cleanse all allies when matching 4 or more gems, and also gain 1 magic when an ally casts a spell. So the way we can loop with her automatically, the way she can feed back into Tooth of the Wild, and the way that can create gems and maybe a loop as well, if you get lucky, especially with that Leaf Storm creating loads of green, you can boost up her magic really quick. And with the 2 of them, because we've got the Potion of Enchantment from our tiers from the shop, means the second Queen Bee will get ready to cast pretty quickly as well. And we are going to be in Bard class for this. All yellow allies gain 1 to all stats at the start of each turn, which is just a hero, so that is still helpful to them. And we can have stuff like Serendipity, give a random ally a random status effect. The second one doesn't matter. Anti-magic sphere, reduce damage from spells by 20% is cool. Mana Source, start a spell with 50% mana. So with that, the Potion of Enchantment and the Potion of Explosion, the chances are we'll be ready to go absolutely right away with that. And we can have Mentor, all allies gain 1 magic. And Tree of Knowledge, gain enchant when matching green gems, which we do all the time when we cast Queen Bee as well. And Mystic Channel, all mystics gain 2 magic and life when an enemy dies. So really cool set of traits. So what do we do for the 4th troop? Because these 3 are the bread and butter of the team, basically. Probably going to get by on these just fine. But the reason I put Horned Hag in there is because she uses the opposite colours to these 2. So we're now using all the colours. And she also does true damage. And because it's targeted true damage, you can pick on somebody that might be trying to be like submerged or something like that, so you can actually target them with that and do damage that way. And she has a summon at the same time, and she reduces damage from spells by 50% and gains 1 magic when an ally casts a spell too, and has a chance to just summon an ancient horror on death. So yeah, she's sort of old and haggard looking, but can actually be kind of useful. If you don't have her, then there are a couple of mythics that are actually really good for this. If we go to spell effect, put in true damage. If you have Arc Druid Blackwood, true damage to all enemies, boosted by entangled enemies, and disease them all, and create 2 entangled gems when my turn begins, which are green, and when we match them with Queen Beatrix, creating all that green, that is going to be the entire enemy team entangled in no time, and a boost up for his spell at the same time. So he's really good in that 4th spot if you have him. And Queen of Sin, not bad either, dealing true damage to the first 2 enemies, summon Wrath or Lust, and then bless all Daemon allies. So that's good for the true damage. But I do like the idea of Arc Druid Blackwood in the 4th slot for this. But other than that, you can go with the 3rd Queen Bee if you want to be really cruel to the enemy. But I'm just chucking in Horned Hag to make use of all the colours. The banner for this team would be the Desert Banner, or you can go +2 Yellow Banner or +2 Brown, your preference. But yeah, I'm going for the Desert Banner on this one. And as we said, Bard class is my class of choice for this one. Let's do a couple of battles. There's our explosion. We're ready next round anyway. We might as well cast that. Queen Bee's ready next round because of the Potion of Enchantment, and the job is done. And even the Horned Hag was ready. 12 totems from that. So we have Moloch as our next most valuable battle here regarding totems. Each totem is worth 4 points. There's a Potion of Explosion, making that weapon ready absolutely straight away. Get some green for Queen Bee, and she's ready to go and do her damagey stuff. Big stings all over the place. I jumped forward a little bit, so let's throw a few battles as things get a little bit tougher. But still really straightforward with this team. They're just absolutely stinging and blasting their way through the enemy really easily. Let's cast a weapon. If the Horned Hag has come in handy once or twice when there was a lone enemy left behind. There we go, so we can even give the Horned Hag a bit of action. There you go. She's pleased she made herself useful. Could have cast Queen Bee, of course. But hey, why not give the Hag a little run out? Weapon charged instantly. Queen Bee's up instantly, and she will no doubt do the rest. Really, really quick and easy. This is going to be a very straightforward bold event. Always choose Melectors when you can. Gives us by far the most totems, which equals the most points. And that's what you're after. Points. Oh, looking at that green at the bottom there, but he got taken away. The weapon's up anyway next round, so let's take blue. The more green you leave on the board, the better it is for the weapon. Like that, Queen Bee gets all excited, and let's give the Queen Bee a second run out here because I don't want the old hag thinking she's getting all the attention. That'd be not right at all. And there's Melectors again. Getting more and more totems from this. For explosiony stuff to do its thing. The weapon is up next round anyway. We've got no blue available, so we may as well take some green. Let the enemy think they're doing good, but they're not. They're just about to get caboosed into oblivion. 2 enemies left behind. Let's cast the second Queen Bee this time because old hag is a single target troop. 48 totems, look. Very good. And we'll just do one last battle on good old Mambasira. So yeah, super straightforward. Don't forget to equip that medal to get that whopping extra damage. Not a huge amount of green there, but we're still going to get charged next round anyway. The second Queen Bee's up next round. Should we? Oh, we'll just cast that to get the status effects. Always handy to get those status effects on RBs. And wipe them out. And next onto the Underspire team. Don't forget to change your medal back from the World Event medal, because that's not going to apply in things like the Underspire. And let's take a look. Pop into the first room. A typical team for this, no mythic, could be something like this. A Skullguard Protector, exploding magic +1 red gems, grant a random status effect to all Naga allies, which we don't really care about, and has a summon at the same time. But Meredith in 2 times Venoxia is going to work really, really well as well, because that Skullguard Protector explodes red, which Meredith uses, and she uses green as well, picks up that extra mana, and Venoxia creates 9 green and 9 blue gems, then deals true damage to all enemies. So creating green, which feeds back into Meredith and Venoxia herself. You can put Venoxia above Meredith if you like, but I think it'll work better this way around. And the blue gems feed back into Skullguard Protector, which can explode gems and repeat the process. And they both do obviously that huge amount of true damage. Really good. And gains 1 magic when an ally casts a spell as well is really cool as well. And poison a random enemy on 4 or 5 gem matches is not going to be that effective. Of course, with this team, you can go Skullguard Protector as well if you like, and 2 or 3 times Tax Shaka if you've got it. Tax Shaka is going to be absolutely awesome for this. Will absolutely tear through the enemy like a absolute demon, or an absolute snaky thing, at least. But yeah, if you've got Tax Shaka, a couple of them would be really, really good. Right, so let us go in with this one. The banner for this, I've gone for a Night Banner, +2 purple, +1 blue, -1 yellow. And pretty much any class you like, really. Not seeing any particular class as being any favourable than another one for this, considering the colours we're using and things like that. So I'm going to roll with Archer class, get a nice 50% start with mana, 15% chance for any skull damage to be absolutely lethal. And we can have stuff like Root Trap, which keeps us safe at the beginning of the game as well. And a backup and dodge is pretty useful as well. I mean, you can go Assassin class, which is a good class as well for this. 10% chance to assassinate the last enemy when I deal skull damage is pretty cool. And you can combine it with things like, where is it? Swift Curse, Death Mark a random enemy at the start, as well as Rising Shadows. So you can actually combine some of those things and get several deaths at once if you get lucky, but I'm going to roll with Archer for this. You can even go stuff like Elementalist to be super safe, but hey, choices are there. So jump into a battle or 5? Maybe 5. Maybe less, we'll see. Anyway, let's blow up our Skullguard thing. That self-charged itself, so we'll do that again. See, Meredith's up next. She does that early damage and demolish them on the early rounds. So you could swap around Venoxia for Meredith. I haven't actually played around with this too much yet. Let's grab our free lantern from Hatboy Chinhead. Determined to call him a new name every week, and just whatever comes into my head. mean, you could go Medal of Honor on this as well to give the Venoxias a quicker start. There's no, obviously, potion of enchantment on these Underspire things. The higher your magic, of course, the quicker Merilith will charge the two dragon things at the bottom. But she'll do early damage and just wipe out the early stages by herself, because she does that moderate amount of true damage to all, as well as the destruction of gems. 6 true damage to all enemies and destroy magic plus 3 gems. Gained attack. Very good in the early stages. The later stages you may want to swap her around maybe with Venoxia when things get a little tougher, when her damage becomes a little bit more insignificant, shall we say. What we got? We got any green? Got any red? Yeah, we've got red for her. And let's do it again. And Venoxia was up, so soften them up with Merilith, finish them off with Venoxia. There's a way to go. Let's see what happens if we change these two around. See if that makes it any quicker or not. So obviously Merilith will be taking the green away from Venoxia. Let's grab that purple. Let's get that. So we cast our Scale Guard. What's it? Yeah, it's not too bad. We've got green. If we get Mana Surge, we'll be ready to go with Venoxia. And there's plenty of damage with a chance of a loop at the same time. Pretty good. As I said, when I jump out of this video, I will be swapping around for Tax Shaka, but I do like to show teams that use no mythics. Always a good way to go. A lot of new players out there, and the established players don't need as much help as the newer people, because this is a super confusing game. And anybody without all the main troops, it's pretty handy for them, I think. But anyway, let's make this the last one. Yeah, I'm thinking prefer this order. If Venoxia above Merilith. Merilith will still get charged, but it's nice to have Venoxia charged nice and quick. Ready to kaboosh all the enemy out of there. There you go. And we are done. There you go, there's the video. If you enjoyed it, it'd be really cool if you bash that like and subscribe button. It really does help. But most of all, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again in the next one. Bye for now.